Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Art Whisper 88. Now this is a very beautiful set of canvas panels. They're 12 inch by 12 inch. It's a pack of 3. This is made by New York Central. And I got this from Jerry's Artorama on sale for $9.79, which makes each panel about $3. And I thought it was such a good deal. Now, let me just open this. And it's supposed to be wrapped in a very fine canvas, which is already primed. And it's really very fine. In other words, the weave is very fine because it's made for portraits. But I thought this would be an ideal candidate for collage because I know that many of you collage artists have problems. When you collage on paper, the paper goes haywire, goes crazy and starts buckling and warping. And this is an MDF surface. So it is supposed to be warp resistant. And I think it would be a great foundation or background for collage. Especially with these heavier papers. These are my sketchpad papers that I've offloaded my brayers on. So there's lots of good paint on it. So I thought I'd make use of it and do an interesting composition. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these down. Now I don't really have a preconceived notion of what the image is going to be like, but I usually like to do it on a grid pattern. So I can arrange these like so. And then I did these off camera. These are black tissue paper with white paint. So I could do an arrangement like this. It's actually 2 layers. There. Then I could fill in the other parts with paint. So it's good to do the colored areas and contrast them or alternate them with the black areas. I'm gonna get started with this basic arrangement. Okay, again I will be using Mod Podge. And I think this very fine and smooth surface lends itself very well to collage, and it is very firm, so it's not going to start buckling or warping. Now I will put the link in the description box below to Jerry's Artorama. Now this is not a paid announcement. I just want to share my experience with art materials with you, because there's so much out there. Even I wasn't aware that these things existed at such a great price. So I always thought these were expensive. They're really not. In fact, what I find shocking is they're cheaper to buy than paper. Okay, so I'm laying down an initial coat. And the great thing about Mod Podge is not only is it a glue, it's also a sealer. So I'm sure many of you have a lot of paper that you've offloaded your brayers on from gel printing, and this is a good way to recycle them and reuse them. Okay, so I will let this dry. And I will be right back. Okay, here we are at the next segment of this video. This has dried very nicely and very evenly, and I like that. So I am going to add some color here. This is Amsterdam transparent yellow. So I'm going to start with this, and instead of a brush, I will just use a color shaper. Kind of treating it like a gel plate. Now, this transparent yellow is very light. Okay. be having an interesting effect if I overlap it. Okay, that's it for the yellow. Then I will combine it with some magenta. Just in certain areas. And then finally some manganese blue. Okay. Again, I will let this dry and see if I need to apply another layer. But I think it's a very complex image now. So I will air dry this again and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. This has dried really well. I found some of this scrap of Japanese paper. It has tiny little flecks of gold in it, and I thought it might be cool to add this, kind of to balance the brashness of it. Let me just see how this works out. I think it adds an added dimension. And here's some more gift wrap tissue with some marks on it. Let me see how this works out. think it's more interesting if it has a torn edge. I'm going to add some white circles. There, I think I can call that done. I will air dry this and then recap. Well, I couldn't leave well enough alone. I took a long, hard look at this, and I still want to add some black elements here. So I cut a circle in tissue to put here, and possibly another one here. Now, in instances like this, it's very hard to rationalize. It's just kind of a gut feeling. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it isn't. But I'm going with my gut feelings. And I think it needs a large black element. I think this gives it a little more weight. Okay, I think that does it. Again, I will air dry this and then recap. Okay, here's to recap. And this has dried very well. And no warping, no bending. It's nice and flat. And it worked out pretty well. Here's a close-up. And you would never tell that these are pieces of sketchbook with the offloaded brayer that got reused. So I hope you like this video. Please share, like, give me a thumbs up, and please pay a visit to artwhisper88.com, which is my storefront, and the sales go to help keep this channel going. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time.